It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Kyle Benedict as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. Great to have you in studio with us today. It is back to school time at some schools in Flagstaff Unified School District already back in school, but a lot of the schools, most of them I would say in Yavapai County, don't go back to school until next week, August 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Yeah, so a lot of that. Cottonwood Oak Creek School Superintendent Barbara Uren in studio today. Welcome back.
Thank you for the invitation.
It has been years since I have personally talked to you here. And then Assistant Superintendent, the new guy, Steve King. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you. We've got new faces. Why don't we talk about new faces first? Because people are going to be dropping their kids off for school next week, so there are going to be some new faces to see.
We do. We're very excited. Our Cottonwood Elementary School has a new principal. Mr. DeVickus is there. He comes with a lot of experience in literacy and instructional coaching. So he's going to be a great attribute to the school. He builds relationships with families, so they're going to love him. And then we have a new a new principal at Cottonwood Middle School, and that's Matt Schumacher. So Mr. Schumacher comes to us from a high school background and junior high background. So he's going to make a great link again to Mingus, making sure we have strong connections there.
Sure.
He's very excited to get, all he tells me is, can we just get the doors open so I can get my kids here and start working with kids. So,
yeah, we talked about that before the show. Parents and guardians are probably thinking the same thing right now. It's like, okay, I got daycare expenses, I'm trying to find babysitters all the time. And so they're ready to get the kids back in school. And I imagine, you know, I remember summer break as well when I was a child. And, you know, summer months is fun. It's like, yeah, school is out. And then you get a little bored towards the end of summer vacation. And so going back to school is always
the kids are excited to get back in, and the families are excited to get back in. And we're always excited about the work that we do with our families. And Mr. King, you want to talk a little bit about some of our priorities with our families?
Well, the first priority is building those partnerships between the school and the families out there. And we all the research shows and tells us that the stronger the bond between the community and the families and the school, the stronger the outcomes for the kids. And so those communications home are very important, and we're looking at different ways of bringing those families into our schools so they can see that the fantastic things that will be happening this coming year. Getting that out to the rest of the community and saying we are part of this community.
Now, what's the best way to do that? Because in the past, it's been a note in the book bag, and I'm talking from experience here where you know, you guys may send home a pamphlet or something instructional about the school, and 3 months later, I found out maybe my son hadn't been doing his homework. So you start going through that backpack, and at the very bottom, crumpled up, is that note that I was supposed to have gotten 2 months ago. So how do we get that information to the parents then? What's the best way?
Things have really changed through education, and one of the things that we have multiple ways of communicating with our parents, and our staff is really instructed to build first the relationship with parents. We provide opportunities for what we call open doors. If you want to come into the classrooms, we want you to come into the classrooms. We offer tours of our schools. Our parents are encouraged to email their teachers and make those contacts, meet with their teachers. Our teachers want to build those relationships with parents because we know that the children's first teacher is the parents. And if we can have that strong relationship of the positive, and then when we say, you know, I'm not going to wait until you find that crumpled note in that backpack. You need to know ahead of time what our plan is to work together to make sure that your child is going to succeed.
Gotcha.
So we have texting with our parents. We have automatic phone messaging with our parents. But our teachers are very good and instructed to make sure that they're building that background knowledge of the students that they have, the families that they have, and build those relationships with our families.
As a parent and guardian, it's not my job to just drop the kid off at school and I'm done. Your job now, right? I mean, I'm supposed to participate and keep participating throughout the school year, which helps you guys out as well. You're not school police. You are teachers and administrators, and you're supposed to be educating my child.
It's a shared responsibility.
Exactly, shared responsibility. Let's move on. Let's talk about budget a little bit. How are things going with the Cottonwood Oak Creek School District budget? Because we did have some budget blows this year.
We continue to have budget blows. And for Cottonwood Oak Creek School District, First, I'll say again, thank you to our community for supporting education. They clearly understood the need for a capital bond, which we did pass last year. So the projects we worked on this summer have been paid for by the capital bond. So when children go back and new children come into Cottonwood Elementary School, Cottonwood Middle School, they're going to see a fresh paint. They're going to see in a bit new fencing for security. We have new phone systems for safety. So we have a lot going on to make sure that those needs are met. But that's because we passed a capital bond. What's happened over the years, Paul, is that our budgets have been steadily reduced since 2008. So looking at our budget, we've lost about 30% through the years. Where they've hit us with that is not in the fund we call maintenance and operation. That's how we pay our salaries. Those haven't necessarily been hit. They haven't been raised. So giving teachers raises has been very, very difficult. We've tried to maintain that and increase that. So there hasn't been money there, so we've had to look at how do we make sure that our teachers have cost of living and we can increase those wages for our teachers. But where we really get hit is the loss of capital dollars that we used to get and soft capital dollars. What those monies are used for are to maintain the buildings that we have, which belong to the community, and they're used all the time. Our fields of buildings, they belong to the community, so they should. We want them used. So keeping them in good working operation and beautiful and pride for the community is important for us, so that when you drive by, you can say, that's my school, and I help pay for
Yeah,
that.
that's the way it should be.
But where we struggle as well is the soft capital. That's where we buy our books. That's where we get technology. For example, we have a science curriculum that we need kits for. We don't have the dollars to buy the kits that need replacing so that all of our 6th grade teachers can be teaching the same unit at the same time, to work together, to collaborate, to see what's working, what's not working. We don't have those dollars, yet we're responsible for educating our children. So those kinds of things can just, you know, I want to say to our legislators, pay attention. We know what to do. You want us to educate our kids, and we do. So what our teachers have done, this is the great staff we have. They've gone and they've put those kids together on their own to try to make do without us being able to go out and actually purchase the kit that has been created and designed to go with that curriculum. So technology, books, textbooks, those types of things, the dollars are not there. Now, but let me re-emphasize on technology because I don't want to mislead. With the capital bond, we did set aside money to increase our technology. So we've been able to redo the entire infrastructure to make it a safer, more secure infrastructure, and to provide devices for our students so that they will be pretty much close to one-on-one.
That was going to be one of my questions, Dave. That's got to be one of the biggest challenges I would think for schools right now is the technological age, because it is changing so rapidly.
Yes.
What you had 5 years ago is extremely outdated now.
Indeed.
Correct?
Yes, it's just not the same. Actually, when you say 5 years ago, we received a grant for about $500,000 that we really upped our ante, and that all went to technology. So in the county, we were known as one of the techie schools in the county. Well, guess what happens in
A year later. Yeah, you're done, aren't you?
We're not the techie school.
Well, I know. The cell phone I have right now is like, oh, that's nothing.
Right.
And I just got it. And I'm like, oh, this is really great. But everyone else is like, oh, no, there's a much better one.
It doesn't hold the same software. You can't put the same programs on it. The batteries die. The batteries are more expensive than the device itself. So yes, it's an ongoing piece. So we try to make sure that we've got a capital plan that we can look forward to for 3 years, 5 years. So even with those limited funds, we plan out how we can best utilize those dollars that are assigned to our district.
Gotcha. Let's take our first break. Cottonwood Oak Creek School Superintendent Barbara Uren in studio today. Assistant Superintendent Steve King in studio as well. Phone number 634-2288 for the school district. And new website, it's cocsd.us. Countywide back in just a couple minutes.
Orkin has pest control down to a science.
When your business chooses Orkin's Precision Protection Program, you get a tailored pest control program for your specific industry and environment.
Your business can benefit from over a century of experience, training, and scientific knowledge that define the Orkin man.
Maximum protection, minimum exposure, backed by one of the industry's most comprehensive guarantees.
Choose your locally owned and operated Northern Arizona Orkin and get more than an exterminator. Get an expert.
We taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back to Countywide. We're talking back to school with Cottonwood Oak Creek School District's Superintendent Barbara Uren and Assistant Superintendent Steve King today. 634-2288 is the phone number for the district office. And the website is brand new, right?
It is brand new.
It is. I noticed last week I got onto it and was looking around because I knew we were going to do the show. And then today when I tried to get on there, it kept kicking me out and saying, well, you got to do this and this. So it's cocsd.us is the website. We were talking technology. Steve, you said you've got, well, we should talk a little bit more about technology.
Well, Ms. Uren was referring to it a little bit earlier, but when I came to this district about 4 weeks ago, one of the first things I did is I went down to the tech department and talked to the technicians down there, Mr. Stone and Miss Epperson and Mr. Epperson and Jesse, just to find out what was going on down there. And they were surrounded by boxes of machines, laptops, tablets, all sorts of different things going around it. And I asked them to show me what they had done, what they've been working on. They took me back in the server room, they showed me all these different things, and the connectivity and the switches and everything that they've done, I think has made this district unbelievable as far as technology goes.
Okay.
What we can bring in to leverage with the kids and to show them, and basically what technology does, in my perspective, is it opens up the world. It allows us to go from a very rural environment with many kids who have limited worldview. Sometimes I compare it to having blinders on, not being aware of what's out there, and gives them and the teachers the ability to open up that world and say, I never thought about this, or the possibilities that are out there for them. And I think that's what we're in the business of more than anything else in schools, is opening up possibilities and hope with these kids, and having them see and build a little bit bigger vision for themselves than what they may have in the first place.
Yeah, there's more out there.
And you talked a little bit about parent connection and bringing that technology and the texting. We're looking at utilizing social media to get the word out to these families, what's happening in their schools and the things that they can be doing with their children, so we can start building that family school and leveraging technology. You talk about Facebook, instead of using Facebook all the time just for OMGs and LOLs, but using actually for a real strong purpose.
Right.
Because we have the ability to do that in our district. It's really unbelievable the work that's been done in the last 5 years. And to use that as a tool and bring that out there.
That's great. Yeah, it is nice. It is nice to be able to sit down. You got a question about something, you could just pick up your phone and you've got the answer.
Yeah,
and
we don't have to not know things anymore.
Right.
I tell kids all the time.
Things have changed a lot since we were kids in school, have they not? Yeah. So what is going on? What's new at Cottonwood Oak Creek School District this year?
Well, we're excited about our programs that we have going. Our 3 in-town schools that we call 321. We have a specialist that, along with Mr. King, that are working with the 3 in-town schools, because remember, Dr. Daniel Bright serves children from preschool through 2nd grade, Cottonwood Elementary 3rd through 5th grade, Cottonwood Middle School 6th through 8th grade. These are the same children. So once they start with Dr. Daniel Bright, they go through with each other all the way through 8th grade. So even though they may be at 3 different sites, it's actually 321, one site at 3 different locations. So they've got some great ideas of how to strengthen those programs, bring some new things in, align it easier for our parents. So we're real excited about some of the work that we're doing there. Some language opportunities, second language opportunities. Oak Creek School in Cornville. has a STEM program with a focus on agriculture. They're working with University of Arizona with land range management, creating curriculum, first in the state, some great things over there. Remember, we provide transportation. There is space out at Oak Creek, and we do provide transportation for any of our families that would like their children to go out to Oak Creek.
I did not know that.
Yes,
That's interesting.
We
Okay,
do.
so that's the point I've never known
We try
before.
to provide, our governing board is very interested in being a district of opportunities. That's why we opened a new school a couple years ago, Mountain View Preparatory, International Baccalaureate. That was another opportunity. So each of our schools are creating those unique identities that provide, number one, a sound foundation in education, but then other things that they may have interest or passion in that they want to delve into deeper. So both MVP and Oak Creek provide Spanish, K through 8th grade, so Spanish instruction to get them ready for high school. So hopefully by the time they leave high school, they'll be proficient in writing and reading and speaking a second language. Our 321 in-town schools, DDB, CES, and CMS, are offering Spanish as well. As they start rolling that program out, it'll be a little more limited until they get all kind of nooks and crannies and staffing in place to fully wrap that into the programs that they have offering. So we want engaged learning. We've got project-based. We're looking at exhibitions, projects for some of our older kids before they go on to the next level. So a lot of great ideas coming through. And
absolutely. And I think in keeping with that, when we start to see these different things happen in schools and kids get excited about learning, what we're also going to see is a dramatic increase in being there. And we all know that the number one priority, the number one thing that's going to make a kid successful in school is attendance. You got to be there every day. And what we see in our schools everywhere across this nation, is those children that have a hard time getting to school in kindergarten are the same kids that we see in 8th grade having a hard time getting to school. And those gaps in learning, they continue to grow and grow and grow over the years. And so I cannot stress enough to the audience out there the importance of getting to your kid every single day in school.
It's going to carry on for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
You know, if I'm not here on time, there's nothing on the air.
On time and here.
It's just...
Absolutely. And that's one of the things, actually, our district nurse is working, again, with Mr. King on creating it. It is not a punitive thing. We understand that sometimes a child is ill, but there may be other reasons why that child can't get there. We want to be that support, again, for our families of how do we help you to make sure that we can build those good habits starting in kindergarten and 1st grade.
Now, if I have a child that's going to be coming to one of your schools, am I able to today come by one of the schools and come in and take a walk around just so they're not so nervous next week?
Yes, you are.
I was a very nervous child, picked on a lot, I know. Very sheltered. But it would have helped to be able to go in and just get familiar with where everything's going to be. Now, do students already know what class they're going to be in, and is all that?
No.
Okay.
Not right now, and where we have a little difficulty with that is our Cottonwood Elementary School and Cottonwood Middle School. If you go by, you may not see it in the front, but we've got a lot of cranes and a lot of equipment still getting those air conditionings and safety issues.
Okay.
Offices are open. So registration is open. Meeting with the principal, they'll be anxious to meet and tell you about their school. They'll sneak you out with a hard hat on to maybe give you a little glimpse of someplace, but you have to have a hard hat on. But our other schools, they're open, fully operation. They've got their air conditions going. They'll be happy to tour. Our schools will all have an open house before, except for Cottonwood Middle School, before the first day of school. So all the schools on Tuesday evening, with the exception of Cottonwood Middle School, have an open house so parents can come, children can see the school before their first day. One of our greatest commitments that Steve and I have, that we're both right on the same page, is making sure that our children want to be at school, that they're happy, that it is not, I want my children to be able to open the gate to academic success and have any opportunity that they choose. But we want children to be the affective side, to truly feel that they're supported, cared for, and known who they are as an individual, so that we can discover their talents and gifts that may look different than what yours are, mine are, or Mr. King's are.
We'll take another break. Cottonwood Oak Creek School District phone number is 634-2288, cocsd.us. This is Countywide. We'll be back in just a couple minutes.
They'll test you. try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny'd been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Hey, it's Ava, and this is Tess from Do Your Selfie, where we recreate the hottest looks from today's biggest music videos.
After cleaning out our closet, we have a lot of clothes we don't wear anymore.
Like this old pile of t-shirts.
It's not garbage, it's actually a new rug.
And to make it, all you need to do is cut, tie, and glue.
Cut the t-shirt into strips.
Tie the strips into knots.
And glue the knots to the bath mat. I love it. Give your garbage another life.
And recycle.
Orkin has pest control down to a science.
When your business chooses Orkin's Precision Protection Program, you get a tailored pest control program for your specific industry and environment.
Your business can benefit from over a century of experience, training, and scientific knowledge that define the Orkin man.
Maximum protection, minimum exposure, backed by one of the industry's most comprehensive guarantees.
Choose your locally owned and operated Northern Arizona Orkin and get more than an exterminator. Get an expert.
Welcome back to Countywide. We've got just a couple minutes left of the program. Real quick, couple questions for you. Cell phones. What are the rules on cell phones at Cottonwood Oak Creek School District?
We have a policy of bring your own devices. Cell phones fit into that. If a teacher's doing direct instruction, that teacher may say, put your device away. Very easy, but children use those devices for their learning to enhance their learning.
Your phone is a computer nowadays, isn't it? It is a computer. And then we need bus drivers. I've noticed you've had a school bus, Rocking Chair Road. I've noticed a few days out there on Highway 89. So you're looking for bus drivers. How many do you need?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Bus drivers, they turn over a lot. A lot of times they're retired.
It's part-time.
It is part-time, and that makes it difficult. It's a great job if you love kids and you've got that smile on your face. You may be the only one that kid connects with, that child connects with. So we've got brand new buses. Remember, our capital bond helped us buy brand new propane buses.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful.
Okay.
So people who love to drive a great vehicle, we've got great vehicles for them to drive. We've got a great transportation team that takes awards after awards. They're focused on children and they're focused on safety of the children. So a great team to work with. Mike Baum is our transportation director, does a great job. So I know we're going to wrap up very quickly, but again, I want to just thank that community of ours for supporting education. That makes a difference whether you're a retired person, a brand new person in the community. Your strong foundation of education makes a better community.
Yeah, we always talk about the kids, the most important thing.
It is.
Get the kids educated so they can grow up and take our positions in life, and we keep cutting that money out of that education. It boggles my mind. But we need bus drivers, so that's one thing. And don't forget, if you're going to volunteer to be a bus driver, not volunteer, but if you're going to be a bus driver, the kids see you first and last every day. So that's an important job. 634-2288 is the phone number. COCSD.us. School starts next week on what day for you guys? Next Wednesday. Half week of school to start off. Talk about cake. Okay, Cottonwood Oak Creek School Superintendent Barbara Yen, thank you for coming in.
Absolutely, thank you.
Assistant Superintendent Steve King, nice meeting you.
Great.
Very good to see you.
Nice to meet you,
Barbara,
Paul.
nice to see you as
too,
well.
Paul. Thank you.
That's today's Countywide, and we'll talk to you again next time.